Hey friends, I am super excited to draw some shiny gemstones with you today. Now, the hardest part of this project is the shapes. So we are gonna do our best to start simply and get a little harder as we go. Use a pencil at first, and you can always change things when you go back in with Sharpie. Got it? Got it. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna start first with kind of a diamondy shape. Now I'm gonna start with the first half being the top half of a triangle. Here we go. Down, diagonal down. Make it pretty wide. Diagonal down. Okay? I'm gonna even make that one a little wider. I'm using the side of my pencil just so it's easier to erase. You do not have to do that. Now, all you're gonna do, draw a horizontal line to close that triangle. As you can see, I adjusted just a bit. Okay, here we go now. I'm gonna say how many fingers away is that? It's about 3, it's about 4 fingers away. So I'm just gonna 1, 2, 3, 4. Boop, make a little dot down here so they're just about even, and you're gonna connect the dots. 1 and 2. Beautiful. Is it perfect? No. Do I care? Not at all. Now, to make this a little bit more interesting, we're gonna add a few lines in between. So we're gonna go down, down, and same thing, down, down. If you wanted this to be even wider, you could add your own layer out like this. Stop right at that point, and then connect it inward. See how I did that? But you want to do the same thing on either side. And you might think, oh no, but what if those lines don't really match? Watch this. Grab a Sharpie. Straight across. Boom, done. Straight line down. Boom, done. And again. See how simple that is? I have my line and my dot that I know I need to connect. So nothing is set in stone until you've made your Sharpie lines, right? So be gentle, be patient with yourself, and you always come back to that point. You can see I changed my mind. I changed where some of these lines went. Totally allowed. They're your gemstones after all, you choose what you want. That's what I mean to say. And then, of course, you're just going to erase your lines. And I told you, this is going to be the most complicated part. But all we did here was play connect the dots with some triangles. Not too bad, right? Right, we're going to put that Sharpie away for a moment, and we're going to do a different kind of shape. But we're still going to stick with that triangle first. Now this time, we're gonna make our triangle upside down. So if you wanna make 1, 2, 3 dots and then connect them, you can. That's what I like to do, so I'm gonna do that. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. Now, we're gonna build outward to make a different kind of shape. And that means what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a little V on each edge of our diamond. Now, what you can do is you can do it this way. 1, 2, connect them. And you can do the same thing up here. What I like to do is actually turn it around so it's facing me, so they're the same every time. There's no shame and no problem with turning your paper. Your wrist only goes in so many directions, right? So that looks kind of interesting. Looks like a mouse of some sort. So now all we have to do is connect this point to that point, this to there, that to there. Let's do it. taking my time. Now, before I Sharpie that, I want to go on to a few other shapes. We have one more starring the triangle beginning, so let's try that one. This is a little trickier. I'm gonna put this one over here. How about that? Okay. We're gonna make a long triangle down. Long and skinny. Like that. And we need one more line across. This one's gonna look similar to this one at first, because we're gonna make 2 more lines down. And again, they are not perfect, and that's fine. It does not bother us because we can fix it with a Sharpie. Here's where it will get a little tricky though, okay? We're gonna build a trapezoid up top here. You can do this in 2 ways. You can make 2 diagonal lines and connect them across, or you can do 1 line up here first, then go down like that, and you're just gonna connect this to the top, and you're gonna connect this line to the top like that. See? Not too bad. Let's Sharpie those up so you can see how they look a little more bold on the page. See how they pop off the page once you add that Sharpie line? Love it. Now, let's try something a little more complicated. I'm gonna do another gem right here. Here we go, and this one's gonna start, of course, with my pencil. I am gonna start with a rectangle, okay? Little rectangle. I don't know, should it be this way? Put it up here? What do you think? Here. What has more room? I think I wanna put it up here now that I look at my paper. Okay, so let's start with a rectangle. We have a line down. And another line over here, 2 parallel lines. Lines that are next to each other that never meet. And they are gonna meet here, however, with lines that go at the top and bottom. Rectangle. Beautiful. Now we're gonna add a trapezoid to the top and the bottom. Again, you choose 2 diagonal lines up and then connect them across. Okay? Or you can do a shorter line first and then connect as you go. Now you can see the top and the bottom are a little different, so maybe I'll slant that line in a bit more and erase it there. Remember, you should be using a very feather light touch. Now, I'm gonna show you the final steps. You're gonna kind of split it in half right down the middle. One like this, all the way down from top to bottom. 1. Now this time you're not gonna go from top to bottom, but you are gonna split it in half in the middle over here. Straight line down, straight line down. Okay, now this line mirrors this diagonal. Whoosh. This one, this direction. Whoosh. Same thing down here and here. Okay, let's Sharpie. Okay, we have room for a couple more, so I'm gonna keep going. Now let's start with another rectangle, but instead of it being horizontal, let's make it the long way. Let's make a vertical rectangle, but you're not gonna complete your rectangle like we did over here. So first things first, here we go. We're gonna go down here like this. Okay, we're gonna make it kind of up here. This is gonna be tricky, so be prepared. Long line down, pause. Long line down. This is gonna be a little skinnier, a little more narrow, okay? And instead of connecting them across, we're gonna give them both a triangular hat. So see how I made a dot right above them? And just connect the dots. Looks like a really tall apartment building. And the same thing at the bottom. Little line, little dot, connect that dot. 1, 2. I am using light pencil lines in case I need to erase. Now remember how on this one we went out with 2 little triangular feet? Instead of doing triangle feet, we're just gonna put 1 line out that's about a finger length long. So 1, 2, turn the page so that point faces you. down. That point should face you. Down. Whole thing. I find it's easier to make them a little bit more exact when I turn my paper. Now all you have to do is connect those lines. I again like to turn my page as I go to keep them super straight. Awesome, that's it. I think we have room maybe for one more right here. It's a bit of a stretch, but I think we can pull it off, maybe. So you see how there's so many different kinds of gems you can do. Let's try, I mean, why not? Let's try it. This by far is gonna be the most complicated, so beware. And we're gonna make them small. I usually recommend you make these really big, but let's work with small first. So what you're gonna do, I'm gonna put one, maybe I'll put one on either side. Anyways, let's start first with a square, okay? Square it out. As even as you can. Squares, all the same size. If you have something to trace, trace it by all means. Now here's the weird part. We're gonna cut off these edges like this. See how I did that? And now I do want you to erase them. My friends, you have just drawn an octagon, okay? If you can draw an octagon on your own, do it. Awesome sauce. Now you're gonna do the same exact thing to this one as you did to this with these lines all around. These ones are gonna go out. So we can actually have these ones just go straight up, straight down, okay, like that. And now what we can do is also have these ones go straight up and straight down. So they're a little different than this guy. All you have to do now is connect these dots. I'll connect these ones first. Great, and now this one, it should be a diagonal. Nice and sharp, and depending on the shape of your square or rectangle, this would work really cool as a rectangle. You'll get this sort of top view of a diamond. See how that looks like that? Pretty cool, huh? Let's try another one right here. Why not? I'll make this one be a little bit more of a diamond, a rectangle-ish shape. And instead of straight on, I'm gonna do it kind of at a diagonal angle. Why not? It's my composition. Although I am gonna scoot this line up a little bit because it's close to the edge. See how I did that there? So I'm just gonna get rid of these. And again, just cut off those corners as evenly as you can. Erase them away. And finally, hold it so it's towards you. 2 up, 2 down. Turn it around so it faces you again. 2 up, 2 down. And connect those dots. That one's a little further out. Connect the line dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the diagonals, point, point. Oop, too far. And there you are. Your page is filled with gemstones. I'm gonna go ahead and Sharpie these up, and I will meet back with you in a few minutes. In a few moments, rather. All right, friends, the hard part is over. As you can see, I added a few more shapes to the edges. I erased the one that was here because I thought it was just a little too crowded, and I thought, why not have some poking in on either side? Now, the next thing you're gonna do is grab your washable markers. Here are mine. I'll have them right here. And you're going to need some water and a brush, but you can set that aside just for a minute. Before you begin, make sure you double check your work. Do you need to erase any more lines like I do? Cool beans. Next, it's going to be time to add color. Now, I want you to choose usually warm colors or cool colors for each shape, okay? And you're just gonna kind of alternate what you choose to do in that shape. I'm gonna start with 2 shades of sort of reddish, red and orange. How about that? I like red and orange together. And I am going to begin with this one here, because why not? Why not make it orange? I feel like it. I'm actually gonna grab one more shade. I'm gonna grab some yellow, see what that does. So what you're gonna be doing is you're not gonna color in. You are only going to color the outline of these, okay? Notice how I use the side of my marker. That is important, okay? Next, I'm going to alternate between orange, yellow, and I'm only gonna do the outside here. Orange, yellow, and then one more orange. Okay, we're gonna add one over here. Yellow, orange, yellow, orange, and yellow. Now that might seem a little weird at first, but let it sit there for a moment. Let it just resonate with you, and we're gonna keep going with some other colors, okay? I'm gonna do a green one here. Now you wanna use what we call analogous colors, colors that are close to each other on the color wheel. Okay, let's see, what else do I want on this one? I want this. So every other one, just the outlines. Cool Bean City. I want this green over here. And they're similar, but not the same. This is gonna give our gems some sparkle, some delightful sparkle. Who doesn't love a little sparkle? Now, if you want, you could totally experiment and use some purples and greens together too. Those look pretty snazzy. Why don't we try that? With, what do you think, this one? Sure, why not? And here we go. One with purple, the other with purple. And skip this one, and we're gonna do this one over here. Now the opposite way to do it, I'm gonna do these two. So I had 1, 2, 3 up here, and I'm only gonna do 1, 2 down here. I know this seems a little confusing, but yeah, just do your best. And there's no rules. You can color these any way you want to. It's your piece after all. I think this teal will go really nice. What do you think? I think so. See how you can see the pattern? Purple, teal, purple, teal, purple. And then this would be teal, purple, teal, purple, teal. Awesome sauce. I am gonna finish up the rest of these, and I'll catch up with you in a moment. All right, friends, now that I have finished adding marker to my gemstones, it's time to spread that color out using a little bit of water and a brush. Now, you will want a piece of paper towel just so your brush isn't too watery. Okay, I'm gonna scoot this over just a bit so you can see what I'm up to. I have my water here. You will need to change your water as you go, and I recommend starting with the lightest gems first, which would be these two, because that's where my yellow lives, and then I'll move on as I go. You can always change your water as you need to, so dip that brush, give it a tap, you're just gonna paint right on top of that marker, and you're gonna watch it kind of blend and bleed into your gemstone shapes. Pretty cool, huh? While I'm here, I have yellow over here, so I'm just gonna color that too, because I know they're similar. See how the color starts to bleed through? Now I am using a watercolor paper here, so my markers will blend a little easier than yours might if you're just using copy paper. Careful for mistakes like that. You can always just wipe your brush away and get rid of it, or you can use your paper towel to snap, but expect your colors to blend and bleed together. Don't have too much water. You see, I have not dipped it back in my water yet, but I'm about to. Alrighty, I think that's good. Ooh, lovely. Dip. Give it a rinse. Tap that towel. And let's do the inside. Oh yeah, you can really see the colors bleed into the center now. It's the only kind of like good bleeding in art, when your colors blend and scoot inward. So when I say bleeding, don't be alarmed. You can scoot that right into the center, add a bit more water. Oh yeah. So all of a sudden, your two-dimensional flat shapes that you've made have just a little bit more form to them, because you've added this gradient of color by letting it bleed into the center, so it starts dark on the outside and gets lighter on the inside. Really lovely. Don't overwork it. The only reason I'm allowed to go back in so much is because this is really thick paper. Alrighty, let's move on to our other stones, and I will see you when I'm all finished. And that's it, my friends. As you can see, the paint does move around with the water. You want to be really careful that you're only using a little bit at a time. And the last little thing I like to add are sparkles. And the way I do that is I take a yellow marker. Be careful, some of this is still kind of wet. I should definitely wait until yours is totally dry. I'm gonna go for it here. And anywhere where there's open space, I'm just gonna go up, down, side, side. So it's very subtle, but it does add just a pop of color. You can make them small. And you can, of course, always add just a little bit of like black in here to really make it pop. You could have them off the page here. I think I need one over here. So hard to see, but they do add just a little bit of sparkle to your work. And it's just a little final flourish I like to add. You totally don't have to. Do as you will, my darlings. And before I go, I will show you what they look like if you add a black Sharpie line to them. I'm going to be using a thin Sharpie, okay? And that looks like this. And you want to be careful here because you can't undo this, so be careful. Here we go. See how they're popping just a little bit more now? Very gentle, barely pressing it. See how that line barely pressed there? I'm not gonna go over it because I want it to just provide a little bit of contrast next to my yellow. Be careful, you're gonna get marker on you. Oh boy, just like I did. I'm gonna go down here and do this one. Whoosh, whoosh. Like that. And of course, you could do this first, you could do this last, you don't have to do this at all. But just a little flourish of sparkle on your work. Can't wait to see your beautiful, colorful gemstones.